Benson and the greatest American hero won't be seen tonight.
I don't believe it.
But they'll return soon. Now stay tuned for the following special presentation.
Shake your love, I just can't shake your love. Shake your love, I just can't shake your love. Shake your love, I just can't shake. Hello and welcome to another episode of the following special presentation. I'm your host, Stan. Well, the day I've been dreading has finally arrived. After months of reviewing crappy TV movies, I've finally been called upon to do a sci-fi original movie. Ever since they changed their name, the only thing sci-fi about the SyFy channel is the cheap monster movies, clearly made for their target audience of people who are really stoned. Luckily, they found the perfect partner in the Asylum, a movie studio run by people who are really stoned. Asylum makes mockbusters, takeoffs of big-budget movies with titles similar enough to fool all the wrinkled old cataract sufferers who still rent movies from Blockbuster. They also make original movies with a diverse library including Mega Snake, Mega Fault, Mega Piranha, Mega Shark vs. Crocosaurus, Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus, Mega Mega Bobega Me My Mo Mega, Othello, and the subject of this episode, Mega Python vs. Gatoroid. In recent days, the Asylum has been doing its part to boost the sagging economy by giving work to unemployed 80s teen pop singers, namely Debbie Gibson and Tiffany. For our viewers too young to remember, Tiffany was famous for singing teeny bopper songs, winning second place on Star Search, and making a name for herself touring shopping malls. Debbie Gibson was famous for her own teeny bopper songs, and also for discovering a safe and renewable source of energy. Not too long ago, they both had solo roles in Asylum movies, so it was only inevitable that these two pop rivals should finally meet for a face-off that's been decades in the making. Man, I haven't been this excited since Freddy vs. Jason! Actually, I'm not entirely sure if the goal here was to make a movie or a drinking game. Every time someone references a Tiffany or Debbie Gibson song, drink.
Only in your dreams!
Every time one of the girls calls the other a bitch, drink.
You crazy, cold-blooded, snake-loving bitch! Crazy?
Well, I've got my bottle of booze ready, so let's do this. Down in the Everglades, I guess, Debbie Gibson is some sort of animal rights activist who rescues pythons. Though, we never find out who she's working for or why the pythons need rescuing in the first place. She's chased by the cops, but eventually the cop car flips over. Or rather, a CGI rendering of a cop car flips over. Moments later, Debbie gets to a river to release her CGI snakes. Yeah, one thing I forgot to mention, pretty much everything in a sci-fi original movie, save for people standing around, is in CGI. And I mean bad CGI. Really bad CGI. CGI so awful it makes the glacier surfing scene from Die Another Day look like a thing of beauty. Soon the snakes grow enormous and become mega pythons. And no, the movie never explains why they turned into mega pythons. With a movie like this, the title is just about all the exposition you get. Speaking of things becoming enormous, we soon meet the predator to Debbie Gibson's alien, Tiffany. Tiffany is playing a game warden, and like all game wardens, she's rocking massive cleavage and tons of lip gloss, and apparently wearing a leftover uniform from Reno 911. She's going toe-to-toe with the local yokels, trying to protect endangered gators. And hey, there's that guy who shot the giant python, who never mentions he shot a giant python. Tiffany has a fiancé, and the wedding is in a few months, but none of this matters. I don't think we ever find out the guy's name, much less see him in the same shot as Tiffany. Meanwhile, Debbie's doing some green screen driving through town when she suddenly gets shot at. By fans of good music, I'm guessing. She pulls over and learns about the giant snakes on the loose. Oh look, that one guy remembered there's a giant snake on the loose. I wonder if some scenes were edited in out of order. That's so totally unlike every Asylum movie ever made.
The snake was here, and it was a python or a conda. I know I've seen plenty of them big suckers in Thailand, where my wife's family's from.
And definitely not where I went on a sex tour. Well, off them rednecks go a-hunting, and before long they encounter a megapython attacking a gator, And no, your eyes are not deceiving you here. Those are CGI muzzle flashes. Hey man, blanks are expensive. And then a giant gator comes in and takes out the giant python. Except we haven't been told how the gators got to be huge yet either. But enough of that. It's time for the greatest on-screen pairing since De Niro and Pacino in Heat. The two pop stars first encounter each other on Green Screen Road, where they almost have a head-on collision of 80s fabulousness.
Bitch.
Game Warden Tiffany allows the men to hunt the giant snakes, but Debbie and her army of hipsters are none too happy about this. This leads to our two teen queens finally meeting face to face for the first time. So sit back and get ready to watch two massive stars. And Debbie Gibson.
You know what, ma'am? Please don't touch me.
Ooh, somebody had bitch for breakfast.
Meanwhile, Tiffany's deputy finds a whole lot of eggs, which I guess is supposed to be terrifying, except for how dozens of snakes are already swarming around the town. After a little Everglades stock footage that almost convinces me that this wasn't filmed in California, a giant gator takes out a friend of Tiffany's fiancé, and soon they close in on the fiancé himself. Tiffany goes out looking for him, only to get her dweeby deputy get attacked. She leaps in to help, cutting into the snake until... Congratulations, your walkie-talkie is a boy! A heartbroken, tearful Tiffany then blesses us with some world-class acting.
The snakes destroyed my home! I know. They ruined everything!
And she decides to avenge her fiancé the only way she knows how.
We need a bigger gator!
Quoting Jaws never gets old. Later on, I'm pretty sure we'll find out that this time, this gator is personal. Over at Debbie's Eco-Revolutionary headquarters, she's dressed like Goldie Hawn on Laugh-In and keeping close tabs on Tiffany, who meets up with a gay porn star to get the stuff. The stuff turns out to be experimental steroids, which they inject into chickens and feed to gators.
Are you sure about this? Creating bigger, stronger gators to eat the snakes?
So that's how mega gators get created, except for the mega gators we saw about an hour ago. But hey, who's paying attention? Seriously, is anyone paying attention to this crap? Soon, a CGI helicopter lands and out pops Dr. Diego Ortiz, snake expert. Diego is played by former soap star A. Martinez, because obviously they couldn't afford the Martinez. But enough of that, it's time for the movie to come to a screeching halt for a Debbie Gibson song. Nope, it's not Lost in Your Eyes, because that would be too awesome. Instead, it's a new Debbie Gibson song. Yes, a brand new Debbie Gibson song for 2011. And yeah, I'm gonna make you listen to it. And it winds down with our snake expert spotting the mega beasts and screaming like Reb Brown. Meanwhile, Tiffany wants to go ahead with a fundraiser during an onslaught of killer snakes and gators. What could possibly go wrong?
Has anybody been hurt in the last 6 months? Gone missing? Dead? No!
Okay, either it's suddenly 6 months later or Tiffany forgot about her dead fiancé as quickly as the rest of us. And here I thought that Debbie Gibson song only felt like it lasted 6 months. Soon, Debbie and her team of hipsters get assaulted by a gator. And the biggest problem with eating a Chinese girl is that after an hour later, you're hungry again. And that was my tribute to the 1980s, the last time a joke about Chinese food was actually funny. Elsewhere, a hick gets eaten by a python. And then, when the snake is about to eat his buddy, the snake's head spontaneously explodes. No, really. Okay, wait, I think I know what happened here. Let's watch the replay. Okay, rewind. There's the hand pulling out the dynamite. And freeze. Enhance. Folks, I have no idea whose hand this is, or why the dynamite completely vanishes in the very next shot, but I guess old Jeb here had time to light the fuse before getting eaten. The other guy survives and drinks a beer to his friend, only to have this happen. I think this scene needs a little something. And just when you think things are as depressing as they could possibly get, Mickey Dolenz shows up. Yes, the guy who was in The Monkees.
I'm a little bit jet-lagged. Where's my trailer?
The saddest part is you just know he's only in this thing because Davy Jones said no. At the same time, Debbie types random keys on a laptop and calls up footage of Tiffany feeding the gator steroids. Fully enraged, she heads on down to the benefit bash to confront Tiffany. Diego blows up some eggs, and hey, that shot of him pulling out the dynamite looks kind of familiar.
Good idea.
Of course, his hand traveled back in time and grabbed the dynamite from 3 scenes ago. And I'm almost drunk enough for that to make perfect sense. He plants explosives around the poorly rendered CGI eggs, then boards his CGI helicopter and sets off CGI explosions.
Hello, and thank you all for coming. When I look out and I see this beautiful, lush area, I think of my late fiancé. And now, ladies and gentlemen, keep drinking.
I fully intend to. Well, it's finally time for that cat fight. How do I know it's time for the cat fight? Because SyFy showed clips of this cat fight relentlessly in the weeks leading up to the premiere.
Okay, well, I'd like to start with one of my biggest hits from the 60s.
Yep, before he even got a chance to sing one note, the snakes took out Mickey Dolenz. Because surely, licensing I'm a Believer would have tripled this movie's budget.
Anyone else with a weapon should get it out. Now!
Hey, I didn't know this movie took place in Arizona. And now it seems the gators and pythons have settled their differences and are working together. And if they can do it, there's hope for us all. The gators and snakes scare everybody off, leading to the clip that they use to sell the hell out of this movie.
I think we're alone now.
There doesn't seem to be anyone around.
Suddenly it's daytime, and now we're witness to the gators and pythons destroying Miami. I'd come up with some funny comments about this stuff, but I'm all out of booze now, and I just like this thing to be over. They eventually figure out that a pheromone will lead all the giant gators and snakes to the quarry, so they can get blown up real good. Because just like in every other monster movie ever made, it's really easy to lure all the monsters, every last one, to one specific place. You know, I've been waiting all movie long for her jugs to fall out, but that's not what I had in mind. The two women soon get trapped in the quarry, and there's a helicopter rescue by Diego. Tiffany climbs up the ladder, or rather her stunt double, who might be a man, climbs the ladder. But she gets eaten by a gator, and no one cares. Then they set off a big CGI explosion, which somehow causes Debbie to fall out of the helicopter and into the swamp, and in an amazing piece of terrible editing, a random snakehead floats toward her and eats her, and no one cares. Yeah, so Tiffany and Debbie Gibson both get eaten. You know, between those two and Mickey Dolenz, it seems these megapythons are on a strict diet of washed-up teen idols. There's a dumb tag scene with Diego dedicating an estuary to the memory of Tiffany and Debbie, accompanied by a terrible CGI plaque. So, no sequel, I guess.
And it is fitting that we dedicate it in the names of those heroic women who gave their lives to save this park, to save this city.
Who, coincidentally, happen to be the same two women who put the city in danger in the first place. Wow. That just sucked. I mean, it really sucked. See, the thing with an Asylum movie is, no matter how low you set your expectations going into it, it's always way worse than you imagine. And no amount of alcohol is going to make this movie entertaining. Trust me, I speak from experience. Honestly, I think there's only one thing that could possibly redeem this waste of time and money. An ironic slow-motion montage. Take it away, Debbie!
I get lost in your eyes, and I feel my spirits rise and soar like the wind. Is it love that I am in? I get weak in a glass. Isn't this what's called romance? And now I know, 'cause when I'm lost, I can't let go. I don't mind not knowing what I'm headed for. You can take me to the skies. It's like being lost in heaven when I'm lost in your eyes. I just fell, don't know why. Something's there we can't deny. And when I first knew was when I first looked at you.
That was so beautiful. We now return you to Hardcastle McCormick, already in progress.
Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace.